Hi guys, it's day 2 of EGX and we found somewhere to sit down already, which is always great at this place.
Cosplay.
Proper lighting this time.
Unusual.
I think we're going to hit the indie stage,
Which is over that way.
Resd area, should I say? That's probably right, isn't it? And we're going to play
There's indie and Resd.
It's and the left field.
The left field chasm or whatever.
The left field chasm of doom. But yes. So we're going to go and play a few of those guys today.
Yeah, it should be good.
We already went past the Monster Hunter stand, but it was already full, so we can't play that again. But anyway,
we can't play it again yet.
Yes. Anyway, we'll see you in a bit, and catch you later.
Bye bye.
So it's the end of day 2. And we've been to see a load more games. As promised, we went to see a load of indie games. And
It was good.
a few other bits and pieces too. So, what should we talk about first?
Well, we also do it chronologically.
Okay, why not? So, first up, we dashed over to the PSVR booth. Since
Actually managed to get a slot, amazingly. They did a sensible thing where if you were in the queue, they were just handing out things that said, come back at this time. I had to sit down because of
I just assumed
the level of sensibility that was just, you know...
I just assumed it would have to
didn't assume from a Eurogamer VR sort of event.
I just assumed we'd have to queue for like 3 hours and then not get in or something.
Well, that's the usual case.
Yeah, so good show by Sony there, well done.
Mm-hmm. We played a game called The Inpatient, which is a prequel to Until Dawn.
Yes, we didn't get a choice of game, but we dropped lucky. It didn't actually say it was Until Dawn, but it clearly was, because it was featured locations from Until Dawn.
And I spoke to the guy who was putting the headset on and I said, is this a prequel to Until Dawn? And he says, yes, it's a prequel that takes place in the mental hospital.
Oh, the guy in mine wouldn't really talk to me. So.
Well, look at you.
Well, that's true. That's true.
It was very good.
It's quite good. I mean, the demo wasn't great because it was meant to be a horror experience, and
you know, you're in an expo hall. People are, screaming, I'm a snake, follow me, sign number 1.
But most of the demo wasn't horror based, so you didn't really get the right feeling.
No, I mean, it was just got at the end.
It just got started with the horror stuff, and then it's like, oh, you're finished now. It's like, great, thanks. And mine bugged out as well. Swapped my arms over, which was really, really confusing.
I'm sure no one's threatened to swap your arms around before.
But yes, so that was a PSVR game we played.
It was a good game. There's still a little bit of a screen door effect.
Yeah.
Slightly grainy, but when the guy was talking to you, leaning in, going, "Hello, how are you?" Put his hand on your shoulder, and they're going,
yeah.
But then there's also, did you actually look down at yourself?
Yeah.
Because you had like a packet of cigarettes.
Oh, I didn't look down that sharply. I looked at my legs.
Because you could look right down.
Oh, okay.
Right down. So I just do H3.
That's it.
But,
so
no, that was cool.
That was cool. In terms of indie games, we had a go at a game called Raiders of the Broken Planet.
No, Ian, no. We went and played a game called
Raiders of the Broken Planet, which might be the right way around if I flip the video around when we do it.
Yes, we went to play the game called Shred.
No.
Shred
No. So that was a sort of co-op.
You can do it co-op. You can do it single player.
We were playing,
you have mad skills.
We were playing solo because I were having a few issues with Steam at the time, but but it's actually out right now. Just go out today.
The prologue is free, so I suggest give it a go. So I really enjoyed it. It's basically like Warframe, but
slash almost Borderlands-y kind of.
Kind of Borderlands,
like comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it was actually well written.
Yeah,
and didn't bore me to tears.
Yeah, true. I mean, and it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I know you really enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, because it was just like I was jump flipping around, like hovering there, shooting with a shotgun.
I walked over to see you, and you were playing the same character as me. It's like, hang on, I couldn't do any of those moves
because you didn't know where the control button was on the keyboard.
Yes. So a bit of learning I needed to do there. It had quite a nice melee system and counter system as well, which is unusual for that kind of shooter.
Whilst was moving around, and you could tap Q to beat the crap out of somebody, or press E to sort of rugby tackle them and do bad things to them. And depending on the colour of the icon above their head, controlled whether or not you're just able, because a tackle instant kills someone. And so, you know, the diamonds over their heads, when those are red, you can't tackle them.
Oh, okay.
That's what the guy told me.
I didn't know. But
seems very good. I enjoyed it.
It's quite fun. I'm looking forward to playing it in a co-op scenario with some friends as well. That was first up. I had a go at Sword Legacy Omen, which was a turn-based tactics kind of game in a similar vein to Divinity Original Sin and sort of. Definitely had the same sort of combat engine, a bit more grid-based.
When I looked at it, it reminded me sort of the bastard child of Divinity and the Banner Saga. The
art was really nice, as is the art for the Banner Saga. So it was very similar to that. So that was pretty cool. But I don't know. It was kind of, I was playing. It's like I should just be playing Divinity Original Sin or Divinity Original Sin 2, which is out now. So
you know,
yeah. So there might be in a bit of a dodgy spot there, but it was all right. It cut between exploration and combat when you ran into people, basically. So it was telling a bit of a story. Almost felt a bit like the original Neverwinter Nights, sort of like a disease has come to the city and bad things are happening to people and stuff.
There's a cancer in this city.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, what else? I played, and you played, but you hated it. Racing Apex, which was a racing game, graphically within the vein of Virtua Racer or Interstate 76. That kind of sort of intentionally very low poly, but still quite stylized vehicle and driver kind of view.
And then they had the physics from a PS2 demo.
It had the drifting mechanics of something like a Sega Rally, which kind of makes sense to me. So it's kind of like you accelerate and then you let go of the accelerator and then put it back on to throw the back out and spin around the corner, or spin and roll horribly. So
for like 2 minutes.
It was a pre-alpha, and it did have the issue where it would roll for too long. And I discussed it with the dev and said, yeah, this is an issue we want to solve, but it's just pre-alpha. So
I did hear somebody say, let's get more people in, because it's more mayhem. I don't want mayhem for a race.
Well, maybe, but it was nice, and it was set up to play multiplayer as well, which you don't always get at these stands. So you were actually competing against other people there. I can show off for my amazing not first place.
Yes, but you came second to 4 after 2 people dropped out.
2 people DNF'd.
Thrashed by the other guy.
Something like that, anyway. It was alright though. I quite liked it. Whether I would buy it, I don't know, but it was certainly interesting. I liked the nostalgia factor of the sort of Virtua Racer and the kind of look, and the relatively simple controls with the drifting and stuff. But we'll see. I mean, it's clearly very, very early. So we'll see. So I also had a go at Sunless Skies, the sequel to.
Here's where we cut in the footage of just nothing happening.
Yeah.
And they're filming this going, is anything going to happen? I imagine it's fun to play, but
it's
anything going to happen?
So Sunless Skies is the sequel to Sunless Seas, which you may have played, which is the sequel to Fallen London, which is a sort of Victoriana kind of steampunky kind of universe. It's got elements of something like Elite, sort of like travelling and trading and doing missions, a bit freeform in that kind of way.
Yeah.
But a lot of text-based story and lore, and very rich lore about what's going on in the world.
Going through nothing.
But mostly it's a very slow game. It's not a very good game to demo at an event like this. As we found with some other games last year. So yes, there was an element of just travelling through space for long periods of time. It had quite a nice soundtrack, which is vital for that kind of thing, because if you're going to be travelling for a long time, and also the ship was clearly steam powered or something like that, and you got this sort of chugging engine effect as you were going along through space, which
steam in space.
So it was a bit odd, but quite cool. I had a chat to the dev, and he had a lot to say about it. It's pretty interesting. Whether I will get that, whether I will try Sunless Seas first, I don't know. Something that requires a lot of time. Yeah.
If it was me, I'd probably go for first game.
Well, yeah. I mean, he did say they're not tied in. They're kind of same universe kind of thing. So you don't have to have played it. So if you fancy the space setting more, then that might be something to have a go at. If you want the high seas element of it, then that's the other thing to play. So yeah, you had a go at
Road Trooper Redux.
Yes, and you said Road Trooper Deluxe there, but that's not right.
Road Trooper Deluxe.
I think the name is because it's a new version of a very old, like
it's
8 or
just
16-bit
a
game.
up of what?
Is it 8 or 16-bit?
No, that's literally like a 4K
Right.
tarting up.
Oh right. I mean, I've never heard of it. So
It's a 2000 AD comic, so it's the same
yeah, they had a load of comics behind
from the creators
on
of
the,
Judge
stand.
Dredd. So it's yeah, that's where it's from.
Right, but has it been a previous game?
Yes, a really old one. They just tarted it up.
Right. Okay.
Well, I say really
but,
old.
But is that like PS1 era or?
I think it was more don't quote me on this. I think it was Xbox, PlayStation 2.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought it was because I overheard some people talking about it being an old game. And I thought it was way old, not just a little bit old.
But it was one of those games that I guess at the time sort of pioneered stuff, like cover-based shooting, blind fire, this and the other. But sadly now feels a bit generic because of that. Because every man and his dog has that in their games. Really, if you're doing a third-person shooter.
So it might be one for people who know the original and they'll enjoy the nostalgia
Or
factor.
people who've been in like a coma for 20 years.
Yes,
It's
but if
one
you
to go
haven't,
for.
then that might be a problem for you. But
Well, having said that, if you want a good cover shooter and you've been in a coma for 20 years, just go and get Gears of War. Do it. Do the
true.
thing, coma patience.
So we had a waltz down left field chasm, or left field collection row, as it were, and I had a go at a couple of games now. I had a go at a game called Brute, which was a
So
momentum-based.
it's a game about men's aftershave.
No, not that kind of Brute. It was basically a momentum-based.
Asteroids Plus.
Yeah, kind of. It was very, very simple, minimalist graphics, and it was all about getting through traps, picking up items, and blowing things up to finish the level.
So I saw you play a bit of it, so you were basically just blowing walls up, so I assume that alludes to the name brute force stuff?
Yeah, maybe. I probably would have done better if I was just taking it slowly and working my way around, but it's a lot more fun to blast through and slide around the corners and
Be Voltan.
yeah. But then I discovered that there's limited fuel, so I kept going, and it's like, why can't I use my engine anymore? It's like, so
Could you use the guns to propel yourself?
no, I don't think so. Well, then maybe you could. I don't know. I didn't try that. But it's basically a puzzle game, so very small levels, and each level has a different obstacles to deal with, and it keeps adding to it.
Then we played Rotoring.
And then we played Rotoring, which was
Well, I played Rotoring. Finished it. Went, oh my god! And went and dragged him off the brute.
It's the classic. They always have one game on the left field collection which is a bit out.
A bloke made out of a bloke. What made it out of balsa wood and light?
Yeah, so it's
which
not,
this was.
So it's not just something that's software on a normal PC. It's got some special interactive elements, and then you'll be able to see in the video. It's basically a load of LEDs and some wood,
lines on the wood, and a dial and a button.
Yeah, it's a classic sort of 1970s, 1980s arcade
Pong, basically. Yeah.
dial and a button.
So the objective is you've got these two rings of lights, and there is one light that isn't lit. You've got to get your white light into the unlit light.
Yeah. And it was great. We both finished it. But
from quicker than others.
yeah, there were some bits where, I find this from most games, I just didn't quite see what I needed to do, and just kept dying over and over again. And it's like, hang on, now I see. And
my favourite bit was when you were there going, god damn it, why? And I was like, you can do this with one hand, and you were like, piss off. I was like, no, you can do it with one hand, and just to be like, you started doing it with one hand and went, oh,
yeah.
Fuck you. You can't do it with one hand.
It was yeah.
It's one of those ones that misleads you into thinking it's far more complex than it actually is.
It was a good clue, actually. I picked up on that. That was good.
Well, I only knew because I heard the dev telling someone else. But because they had the little one on desk, they also had a full cabinet as well, which I took a picture of because the art on the side was really cool.
Yeah.
So there's 2 versions of it, but yeah, that would be a great pub game to have a go with.
Yeah,
There was also some kind of, I don't know quite, I'm ignorant in the ways of these things, so that the control dial had a kind of bit of resistance to it, but it also had sort of the almost forced feedback when you turn it, so you could tell you were turning it through notches.
Yeah. It's like mouse wheel, isn't it? So
I don't think it was that.
Some mouse wheels have a kind of clicking when you roll them, and some don't have any.
I don't know. I think it was done by some. I think it was done by Moses or something. We can ask him tomorrow.
It's
and find
done
out.
by magic. Yes. Magnets. Might be. I don't know.
It could be.
So we wandered over to the Switch Indies area, or Nindies.
Kill me now.
We played Dandara, which is it's almost like Bionic Commando, so like running around with a grappling hook.
Well, there was no grappling and swinging. It was just like boing, 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 boing.
It was quite an interesting mechanic because it kind of played with the elements of which way's up, which way's down, and that kind of stuff. I had a quick go at it really, but it was quite good fun and it was quite fluid. Even for someone who is as inept at games as I am, I was able to whiz around the screen fairly quickly.
But I guess that's what the green line was for then, because I was thinking about it, because to explain, in Dandara you can, once you land on a surface, you have to aim where you're going to go next, and there was also, as well as the line you're aiming with, there's also a green line, so I assume that's sort of like aim assist, because you're aiming there, but this is where it's actually going to travel.
Could have done with a little bit of a tutorial on that.
Yeah, there was none at all.
We didn't really get that bit, but it's alright. It's alright. We also had a go at Octahedron.
That was odd.
I'll put some footage on, but I don't think it will mean much to you. Because I watched some footage of it before the event and thought I don't understand.
Don't mention the event.
It's just neon chiptunes, really good chiptunes actually.
I mean, to use their tagline, the platforming game where you make your own platforms.
Yeah, so
that is your power.
You're given a certain number of platforms which you can create using the right trigger as you jump through the air. And
but it's not just a case of you don't passively create them. They only exist as long as you hold down trigger. Mm-hmm. And so as you're holding down trigger, your character's body fills up pink.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, yeah, you got onto that.
I just.
That's the limit of how many you can.
I just monitored it in my head.
You can do so. I think it was 5, but you can only have them in play as long as.
It depended on the level because at the start it was only 2.
Oh, right.
And then on the left-hand side of the screen it showed.
So I didn't pay any attention to it until it got to the sort of more advanced stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
See, I'm more inept at that, so I needed to know how many I was getting. It's like, oh, okay, I've run out now. And I was doing a little bit of trying to collect absolutely everything I could find. So there was certain bits where you kind of had to sort of almost wall jump up sections and things like that.
Well, what they tend to do with those collectibles, I found it was like you can progress through the level, or you can go back. You'll lose some progress, but you can get this little bauble. But was good. I enjoyed it.
It was really good, and it was definitely one more game kind of thing.
I think it's that, and it has potential to be a bit of a controller break.
It almost fits in the same kind of area as things like N Plus and it's a little bit Super Meat Boy, but not so much.
House of Dead Ninjas?
Yeah, kind of. Well, that's a bit more of an attacking based thing. This is more avoid everything kind of thing, but it's a lot more based on the platforming, whereas House of Dead Ninjas is a bit more roguelike fighting kind of game, and I do really love that game. So that was good. And then the last game we played just before we came out just now was hang on,
Jonah Lomu.
Yes, Yoku's Island Express. Had to get the pronunciation right there. Basically, it
Dung Beetle Pinball.
Yeah, it was kind of like a side-on platformer, but it had pinball flippers all over the game world. So if you played something...
No, we're lying. We played a game first.
Yes.
The first thing we played when we came in today. Was it the first thing we played? Because we had the virtual pinball table. Oh,
well, we'll come back to that. Yoku's Island Express. If you've ever played something like Rollers of the Realm, which is on Steam, which is again a adventuring,
it's very much like that.
Adventuring around, but it's also a pinball table and
also gorgeous hand-drawn world.
This was a lot prettier, I would say, but The music was all right, but it was a little bit repetitive. I think it might.
So I didn't notice that because they didn't have any sound coming out of my TV.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It was. It's all right, but probably could have done it a little bit better there.
Reminded me a little bit of the Rayman's. Is it Rayman Orange? Oranges. This is
Rayman
me reading.
Oranges.
Somebody reading the RPS and going, they said Rayman Oranges.
Yeah.
Rayman Oranges.
Rayman Origins.
That one. It does remind me of that art style a little bit, not quite to the extremes that they did with it.
I can see where you're coming from, but that was a lot of fun. I can definitely see myself getting that. So, very chilled, and I do like a good pinball game. So combining those two into an adventure is
Our powers combine.
our powers combine. Not Captain Planet, but yeah, that was definitely very good. I enjoyed that. So yeah, as you say, when we came in, we were just wandering around over by the ESL esports stage, and there was a pinball table, which was Tales of the Arabian Nights. Not the original, because that's about $7,000.
$67,000.
No, $7,000.
Oh, $7,000.
$6,000 to $7,000. But yes, it's quite an expensive one. And what it was a virtual pinball table. So you had
just a big long screen.
Yeah. So the table was laid out. The actual cabinet was laid out the same way as a normal pinball table, but there was a big screen inside which had the art for the actual pinball game. So it's like playing a computer simulation of pinball with an actual cabinet, basically.
But there was also, because you weren't playing it, but there was force feedback.
Yeah.
So actually, all the stuff, maybe they even had the actual mechanisms inside, just arrayed in a line and just activate it. But it felt.
Yeah, it was something
like
they were selling. All the Williams tables were included, or something like that.
Pick whichever one you want.
It was a nice, different thing to play on.
I would say the only way you could really improve on that, like I said, was sort of like almost the 3DS, active 3D stuff. I could probably work with that.
But it was cool. It was a nice thing to play. Outside of the direct gaming area, in terms of dev sessions today, we went along to see Doug Cockle, the voice of
Geralt of Rivia.
Talking about voice acting and all the good stuff around that.
And explaining things twice because people didn't listen.
Yeah. Some people need to listen more closely to the talk.
I had no inspiration doing Geralt because the books hadn't been translated to English, so all I had was the guy from CD Projekt Red sort of feeding me intel. What was your inspiration when you voiced Geralt?
Yeah, so that wasn't great, but yeah, it was good to listen to that, and we got to meet Doug later on as well. Get a nice photo.
Really nice guy.
Photo here.
Here it is. There it is. It went now.
But that was quite cool. After that, we went along to Julian Gollop's talk about his new game Phoenix Point, which is a sort of Lovecraft cross with XCOM.
Pointing bird.
Which I thought was quite interesting. And being a big fan of his games, T-shirts. That was great for me because I've never seen him in the flesh before.
He also asked a question, boys and girls, like a big boy.
Yes, it was good, and it was a very reasonable question about Lovecraft, as all good questions should be.
He even complimented your shirt.
He did. So that was quite cool. And then after that, we also went to see. Right at the end of the day, actually, we saw John McKellen, who worked on Alien Isolation and his new company working on the
Stories Untold is the game you're after.
Oh, I know what it's called. It was he described it as a unique kind of text adventure kind of thing, but it's
it was split into 4 episodes.
Apparently, it's another one of those games where it's kind of not what it seems kind of thing. I love those kind of games anyway, so I'll give that a go.
It's the frog fractions of text adventures.
Yeah, something like that.
No, it was a very good talk. So he was just talking about how you psychologically mess up your players.
Yes.
And it was
nice.
Yeah. No, it was a really good talk. I enjoyed that one.
That was cool. So that was day 2. Really enjoyed it. Had a good time. There's still plenty to go out. I mean, we've got 2 whole days to do it. So we're going to enjoy that. So join us again tomorrow. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, which is over here somewhere or over there. And
your UI may vary.
Yes. And
other UIs are available.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.